This man had just had the best day of his life at the expense of this little girl, and the law ended up being on his side. Why didn't her mother do anything, and why was this the only salvation for the girl? There's a saying that goes that love knows no age. However, Homer Peel took this way too seriously. He was 32 years old when he first saw 10-year-old Geneva at his brother's house. Homer had seen very beautiful women, many of them were even held in his arms, but only for Geneva would he be willing to do wild things. Homer thought every day about how to carry out his plan, since what he wanted to do was completely forbidden. However, despite such an atrocity, the law eventually was on his side. What kind of horror was that little girl about to experience? When Geneva turned 12, Homer decided it was time. He took the little girl out in secret and headed to the courthouse in Tennessee, United States. There, he would commit this atrocity. Before the judge's indifferent eyes, Geneva, being helped by Homer, said, "Yes, I do." But the man's plan didn't last long because the girl's mother reported him. Despite this, the law ended up protecting the new couple. But why? Although the judge of the case claimed to be against this marriage, he couldn't annul it. It seems unbelievable. However, there was a sad reason that would push Geneva into the arms of this man, one that would be strong enough to overlook this. Why was this despicable union approved? Homer couldn't marry a minor who wasn't even 14, as there was a law in Tennessee that set this age as the minimum required for marriage. So how did he solve it? Well, as bizarre as it sounds, he replaced the 12 of her age with 18 when registering her. This is clearly document forgery, but the judge decided not to annul the marriage because it would leave the little girl unprotected and homeless. But what about her mother? Geneva, according to her own words, didn't want to go back with her and her brothers to a poor house where she was constantly beaten. If separated from her husband, she would run away or commit suicide. But what would an adult have in common with a child? Homer claimed that before marrying her, his intention was to protect her, so he took her to an orphanage in order to free her from her mother's abuse. Then he tried to adopt her, but as he failed to do so, he decided to make her his wife. However, this change from parental love to a romantic one is quite strange. Geneva gave birth for the first time at the age of 17, and then the couple had 6 more children. But apparently this love, if it can be called that, would not last forever. The couple separated in 1975, but some records remain scarce and confusing. On the other hand, some believe that Homer really wanted to give Geneva a better life, while others claim he took advantage of her vulnerability. Whatever the truth is, this photo will go down in history as one of the most unsettling ones ever. Not only for its terrifying content, but also for what is hidden behind it, that unpleasant feeling that though we don't see it, we feel it. Always be eager to know more.